Yeah, I'll ask. Wait, don't do that.
Hi, everyone. We're going to just share some greetings here as we get on for our creative stamping class. So if you want to give your speller the opportunity, we can say hello to our friends in maybe a fun way. How would you like to say hello? Hi. A. Okay. And then R. Hi, Art. And then F. R. I. E. N. D. N. S. And then what we can do is we can type into the chat the greeting, and I will read things. And I don't know if I can change my name, but we know Autumn and Liam are together. It's easier to change when you're an attendant, not when you're leading. Libby says hello, and Liam says hi, art friends. So very awesome. And I think Michelle is muted. You can. It's fun to stay muted for most of the event. And then anything that is shared, you can just type into the chat. We'll probably wait just a minute or two to see if we have any more people joining us, and then we will continue on. Awesome. This is a first for me, leading something on Zoom. I had to figure out a little bit of how to do it, and we've been dealing with some allergies here, so Leah may or may not be involved the entire session, and same thing with any other speller. Participate in what works for you, come back to it. With a recording, you can pause and return to something later, which is always nice. So we have that flexibility. And I do have a Google document that I'll be sharing. So why don't we go ahead and start with, I have an icebreaker question here. Hopefully you can see it, Michelle. So first we have the welcome. We invite you to share a greeting in the chat. And you can also answer this question. Would you rather spend a night camping out under the stars or a day lounging at the beach? And for those who want, they can share why is this their preference. Oops. Can you type or unmute yourself, Michelle? I can't hear you. You're muted. Is it going to let you unmute? I don't know if I can. Can I? Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, stay muted and then just type in the chat whatever as you give choices. All right. So for you, Liam, would you rather spend a night under the stars or a day at the beach? Okay, first letter would be D and over A. A day. Huh? A at. All the way up to B and E and A and C and H. And you have a reason. You have be able to share why that is your preference in a sentence. Why you would like that better. You can use your finger, or you can use back of this. S S U sun is D. Sun is all. Yep, W down to W. Okay. You have ALW. A is always. B and so it's E T T E R. I'll type that in the chat for you.
Oh. Oh. Uh.
All right, so Harvey and Liam like the same thing. It is a day at the beach, especially when we have our first snow. Hey, stay here. Um, yes. So what we're gonna do for this class is we're gonna learn a little bit first about um, stamping in general, what we're doing, and then two different artists that use this technique in their work. So there'll be questions, communication partners. Use the questions that fit for your child, dismiss the ones that don't, and feel free to kind of modify for whatever works for you. Okay, we're gonna dive right in. Stamp painting represents a fascinating technique in contemporary art where artists use various objects as stamps to create distinctive patterns and textures. Unlike traditional brushwork, stamp painting involves dipping objects into paint and pressing them onto surfaces to create repeated impressions. This approach empowers artists to expand their creativity by utilizing everyday items like bottle caps, vegetables, or manufactured rubber stamps to create complex compositions. And hopefully you've got a collection of things that you're going to use today that might fall in those categories. All right, so the first question is, what is one of the two results created on paper by using stamps? The paragraph describes two different things. T, P, X, T, N, U, R, E, S. And we'll take some time with these questions, so ask at whatever pace works for you. The second one is, would the actions of dipping and pressing be easier or more difficult than using a paintbrush for most people? So what do you think? Easier or more difficult? And you can always share in the chat your speller's answers too. A bottle cap is an everyday object that can be used as a stamp. What's another everyday object that could be used as a stamp? Okay, P, E, N, N. Ooh, that's a good one, Leah. And then do you prefer to create art that follows a plan or one that is created by moment-to-moment impulse? And it's also possible to not have a preference for that one. So would you prefer plan or a moment-to-moment impulse? Moment. Yeah, we'll just put moment.
Wish.
Two. Okay. M-O-M-E-N-T. And then the last question of this section is, what is one benefit of not following a set plan? Why might someone not want to follow a plan when they're making art? Room, F,
Wish.
four, T, I, E, I, T, I. Okay.
Wise.
I'm gonna write some of those down for you, and then we'll be able to share them. Okay, no problem if you're having trouble with questions. So Liam shared texture and that stamping would be easier than using a paintbrush. A penny is another stamping object. He likes moment-to-moment creation. And the benefit of not having a plan is there is room for creativity. Okay.
God.
We will. Whoops. Get back here. Okay, the first artist that we're going to explore is a female Japanese artist. I'm going to probably butcher her name. Yayo Kusama. She sometimes used repetitive stamping and printing techniques, especially dots, to explore pattern and infinity. In fact, her nickname was the Princess of Polka Dots. As a young child, Kusama often experienced hallucinations of swirling dots, which instead of avoiding, she turned into artwork. She has also created infinity rooms where people can pay to visit and experience a full immersion into art and a sense of infinity and oneness. I actually want to take you to this. Hopefully it works. Michelle can let me know. This is an infinity room. Can you see it? Okay. You see the mirrors all set up with her art. Lots of polka dots, all different sizes. Look at this one, Liam. Mirrors. This looks like stars. Yep, the souls of millions of light years away. This is fun. Pretty neat, huh? There's a lot of stuff, I think. All right, so that was our own little experience of the infinity rooms. And I'm going to scroll down here. You can see here she is with her fun red hair and an outfit that matches her artwork. And there's behind her all the different patterns and dots and stamping that she has done. So I'm going to show you a few of her works here. This is mushrooms. And then this is all of the eternal love I have for pumpkins, which I thought was so fitting with it being fall time. All right, so then we're going to move on to our questions here. What's a word or phrase to describe how you might feel visiting an infinity room? And then choose the best description to complete a sentence. And then share if you've ever created art with dots and what are your thoughts on it. We'll take some time for these. Okay, so what would you think a word to or a phrase to describe going into one of those rooms? Yes. So, so cool. Anything else? All right, we'll go to the next question. What's the best descriptive word to complete? Artwork made by dots would it be haphazard, monotonous, or lateral? M-O-N-O. We got it. T-O-N-O. U-N-S. Yes, lots of O's in there. And then have you ever created art with dots? And what are your thoughts on it? Here, answer one more question. Here, we can stand up and do it. Have you ever created with dots? We have, right? Yes. And what are your thoughts on it? A-L-R-I-T. GHT. Okay, you take a little break there. Let Liam take a break here. Michelle says that it's very cool. It reminds me of optical illusions. Exactly, with all those mirrors. Got probably be careful you don't forget where the entrance or the exit is and hit into a mirror. So for these questions, Liam said his way to describe what it would be like is so cool. And then he thinks the right word would be monotonous when you're making dots over and over again. And yes, he's created with dots before and he considers it all right. So we've had dot markers, and I know Michelle and Harvey have done that too. We've also just done random like little markers and just kind of decorated a page with dots as much as you could, or just, nothing really like a picture. So sometimes people really like doing pictures and following a pattern. Sometimes your polka dots could just be wild and crazy. All right. So we're going to jump right into the next artist, who is a male, an American artist named David Hammons. In the 1960s and 70s, he began making body prints. He literally pressed his own body, coated in grease or oil, onto paper and dusted pigment over it. It was stamping and self-portrait and social commentary all at once. Hammonds often worked with found, everyday, even discarded materials: barbershop hair, bottle caps, chicken bones, basketball hoops. The objects carry the story. He doesn't force it. His work was incorporated into the Black Lives Movement, and many see his work as an expression of life in the hood. So here's the first picture of him making the artwork, putting his forehead to the canvas. So the first question is yay or nay? I would love to create art with my forehead. Yeah, would you like to create art with your forehead? Yes. Okay. I'm interested to see what Harvey thinks. All right, both of our boys said no. They do not want to be pressing their foreheads into the paint. I think I'm with you guys. I wouldn't like that either. It'd be kind of messy. All right, so here's another one of his works. You can see some arms and hands in this image. And if you look closely in the center, you can see a face. And I'm not sure if he actually pressed his face into that and then, kind of carved it out with other objects. The eyes look a little bit like he might have had to do that because eyes don't look like that necessarily. So that's a fun one. That's Untitled in 1991. Here's another one. You see the images and you can see the face in the center. Kind of his signature with a lot of his work was to include that little face. Also Untitled. The question with this is, what body part do you think Hammonds used to create this piece? So look at this piece and make your best choice there of what body part did he use? Okay. Got to see this one so you can tell me. All right. So here's his artwork, Liam, right here. See that right there? Do you think he used a head, feet, or hands to make that? No. See it? H-A-N-D-S. We'll see what Harvey guessed with that one. Did Harvey get to answer that one at all? Oh, definitely. Yes, I never know quite what I'm doing here with this sharing. There's the picture, and what body part is it? Head, feet, or hands to create that? Yes, and Liam says hands also. You can see all those fingerprints, right? So kind of cool. Three or four different colors of paint with his hands. All right, so most of Hammond's work remains untitled. This is kind of a question for more open people. But why do you think an artist might choose to not give their work of art a title or a name? And here's this one. And Michelle, you could probably offer choices for this one. What do you see or feel when you look at this image? So it's very abstract, so it's up to you. What do you see or feel looking at this? So first question is, why would someone maybe not name the artwork? Two, A, no. To allow. Uh-huh. E. Oh, you got the, okay, I. N, T. P, and R, and E. And you got it, T, and A, and T, I, O, N, okay, to allow interpretation. And then when you look at this artwork, see this artwork here? What do you, let's see the question. What do you see or feel when you look at this image? S, E, R, E, N, E, serene, okay? P, I, serene. You want the F? Serene. Okay, you want the F or the P? We're going, okay. E, N, D, S, H, I, N, P. Okay. All right, fire. Wow. So see, and so Liam says that a person might not name their artwork to allow interpretation. And you guys saw something totally different than Liam saw. He saw serene friendship. Think of the difference between fire and serene friendship, you know? So I really think that's cool that artists don't really name their work. They're keeping it a little bit more unlimited. And this piece sold for $21,000, if you can imagine someone buying artwork for 21. But it gets even more extravagant. This next one I want to show you from Hammond's, it was made with a basketball and Kool-Aid. And it sold for over $127,000. And Hammond's is proof that abstract artists can make a living with their craft if others see value in their creations. So here's this work. It's cool to look at. A basketball and Kool-Aid made this work. And the question with this work is, what deeper meaning might basketball, a symbol of physical game, and Kool-Aid, a beverage to quench thirst, might mean when combined in art? So let's see. That might be more of an open question, but Michelle, even you can form a question or a choice maybe for Harvey with that one. Leah, what do you think basketball and Kool-Aid might mean? Y-O-U-N-E You need to what? All right, you need to. What's the word? H. Wow. T. R and A. T. You need to hydrate. When P L A I N G playing B A S K E N T and B at it A L L. All right, it's a good one, Liam. Something the child enjoyed from childhood, playing basketball and drinking Kool-Aid. I love it. And Liam says, you need to hydrate when you were playing basketball, which makes a lot of sense. So someone could take, let's expand it. You could take yellow, remember orange Tang we had as kids? And you could take tennis balls and you could make an art, a design with those things. So yeah, so he had fun just making things out of everyday objects and materials. Okay. I hope you enjoyed learning about the two abstract artists who found their passion through stamping. Now it's your turn to create some abstract art using the stamps and paint you brought to class. I'll be demonstrating the main motor technique of dip and press. You may also use a stamp several times, making lighter prints before returning and adding more paint. And so I call that like a dip and press. A few helpful tips for the communication partner as you and your artist begin. You may want to tape down the paper and the paper plate to provide stability. Remember to use a paintbrush to spread your paint kind of thin before you're going to be dipping into it. Go slow, finding a rhythm that helps the artist move most intentionally. We will be following creative impulse, so allow the artist to place their stamps on the page wherever they want. We don't want to control that process at all. And sometimes, make it a station, so if they get off the page, it's going to be okay too. And the artist can also create layers by overlapping images, and there's no wrong way to stamp. And you can have several sheets of paper if your artist wants to practice a few at first to see how they look or work. As a communication partner, you can help the artist fill in any empty areas and then ask them a preference or the order of stamps or the color to use next. And the artist could name their masterpiece or, like Hammond's, leave it untitled. And I'll probably turn on some calming music here as we create. So we'll move towards that process now. So kind of take the next 15 minutes or so and enjoy. Okay, it's up here. All right. So let's see what color you want to start with. We have red, pink, or orange. Which one to start? E, D. Perfect. Okay. We're going to bring some tape over here. I can see. I see Harvey. We're going to start with red paints in our world. Okay. You ready? Use a paintbrush here. We'll spread it out real carefully. Remember, we're just spreading it out big enough for a stamp. Okay, up a little bit. Make it like that. All right, so I see Harvey is using some sponges Woo, look at that. We're going to use some celery to start with. Okay, so dip and then press. That's okay. We'll get some baby wipes if we need to. And press, dip, okay? And press it again. That's fine. Makes a really cool pattern. All right, how about one more with this over here? Okay. And then I have these little ones that make like circles. I'm gonna try that. Try that one. There we go. Okay, so then dip it over here. Dip it. And then press it. And a little bit more. Good. Make sure you get it real dip. Okay. Find a spot. All right, one more. Do there. All right. Let's do some orange with this one. We're going to spread this out. Spread out carefully. You spread it out. Yeah, kind of mix it together. Yep. Like so. Okay. And then we're going to use the back of this. This is really cool. Are you ready? Dip. And then press. Dip. Get real good. Find some white area. Yep. And it goes slow. Dip and press. 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 Ooh, look at that. All right. And the other one I thought would be really good is this pen. Pour a little bit of pink. Hold that for me. Give you some room here. Okay. Get to the pink. Can you move a little closer? Move a little closer to the sheet. Move it. There we go. All right, so you're going to dip it and then press. Dip, press. Dip, press. Yeah, try that one. Wherever you want. Love it. Follow the creative impulse. Look at you. Yeah, you can make layers. What's next? And do up here. I just have some of the whites. And you can also use this color. Here, come over here. Fill the whites. All right. Try some more. You try to do it again. There. All right, let's get one more good dip. Okay. And I'm gonna have, yeah, and Michelle, if you want to add a little bit to it as well, you know, it can be a joint effort.
What?
So you guys can keep creating there if you want. I'm gonna see what the next questions are here for our reflection. Let's see. Okay, what would you name this piece of artwork? Hold on, you gotta name it something if you want to. Malibu. Malibu. L. Okay. O. V and E. I like it, Leo. Malibu. What was your favorite stamping tool to use, either of yesterday's or today's? What would you like using? Let's see. U and P. You know what? So since we have free time, that is your favorite. Why don't you go ahead, add a little bit more on? Yeah, find a spot. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Wherever you. I like this one too. More time. Okay. And then how would you rank this from 1 to 5? How much did you enjoy this project? A 4. Okay, awesome. I'll let you go for now. Let's see what's going on here. All right. All right. Are you guys finishing up there? To show you Liam's work here. We can kind of show things if you're able to lift it up. The celery didn't work out quite as pretty as I thought it would, but this is Liam's work. And I'm going to type in here. Liam named his art Malleable Love. I think it's because the colors were very loving colors. And he also rated this, let's see, he said actually the cup was his favorite, and we used the cup yesterday. So then I pulled it out and I said, all right, add some more cup then to your artwork. And then he gave it a 4 out of 5 as a rating the project. So let's see, make sure I share this. Where did my, there we go. Okay, so at the end here, just the reflection questions are to name the artwork, ask the speller what object is their favorite, and see how much they enjoyed the project on a scale from 1 to 5. 1 being not for me, and 5 being I loved it. And thank you so much for joining us for this and experimenting with art and stamping. And this project is something you can repeat in a million different ways. And especially if you're just getting used to things, you can try again and, use different techniques at that point. So our classes probably would be like 45 minutes if we do these in the future. I think that's probably a good time for our kiddos. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye, Michelle and Harvey.